Look, President Trump has said there'd be no American boots on the ground in Gaza, but he does expect other nations to play a role in keeping the peace. You're the counter-terror czar. Do you believe Hamas still needs to be militarily defeated?
Utterly and completely, without a question of a doubt. The Hamas, look, don't listen to me. Read their founding charter from the 1980s. It states in its opening paragraph, we are a chapter of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is the progenitor of every modern jihadi organization, from Al-Qaeda to ISIS to Hamas to Hezbollah, even to Shia organizations, if they believe in global jihad and the need to kill all Christians, all Jews, and all apostates. You have genetic makeup that comes ideologically from the Muslim Brotherhood. So yes, Hamas is about jihad. Hamas is about killing all those who do not ideologically agree with them or enslaving them. So yes, unless Hamas is completely excised from that community, unless there is a new political class that fights the corruption that we've seen in that part of the world for decades now, there is no hope for the people of either Gaza or the West Bank. So that's the big challenge. And the good news is we have some nations who are at Sharm el-Sheikh who have massive militaries and others who have massive GDPs who relatively easily can assist in the stabilization and the rebuilding of what is, to all intents and purposes, a very small piece of territory in the Middle East. If those nations are serious about the recognition they profited from standing next to President Trump just a few days ago, then it's time for them to pony up. It's time for them to deploy their assets and help bring stable relations to that part of the world. And it's all doable with President Trump. President Trump had this phrase near the end of his campaign before he won for a second time, or should I say third time. He said, you know what it is about Americans? We make the impossible look easy. Nothing is out of the question with President Trump at the helm.
Just a quick follow-up to that. So you don't expect Hamas will voluntarily disarm, as the president has been urging them to do? It is going to require military action?
I'm not a betting man, but I would not in any way, shape or form bet that an organization that has pledged fealty to an ideology that wants to see all Jews, Christians, and apostates killed or enslaved, voluntarily laying down a butter knife, let alone an RPG or a machine gun.
Just on another topic, we've seen Zohran Mamdani appearing alongside Islamic extremists while he's campaigning, and he just did a big rally as well, of course, with AOC and Bernie Sanders. He's now on track at this point to win the New York City mayoralty race. I mean, is it unfathomable to you that someone who is this anti-American can be on the cusp of victory in New York?
So unlike my predecessors in the somnambulant Biden administration, I respect the Hatch Act. So I will not make partisan political statements on behalf of one candidate or another. But I will tell you one thing. In my SCIF, so in my secure compartmented information facility where we do our classified work every day, there is a giant poster of the Twin Towers behind my classified computer terminal for a reason. The fact that we will be commemorating the 25th anniversary of the greatest terrorist attack against the United States in the modern age next September. And to see what we are seeing in the political race in New York is absolutely galling to me as somebody who's been working in this field for a quarter of a century. So I know 25 years is a long time, but hopefully all Americans, the majority of Americans and the majority of New Yorkers will remember why those hijackers chose New York, why they chose the Twin Towers, and why those 3,000 Americans had to die. So I'm not going to make any predictions, but at the end of the day, in this building, in the White House, we will fight, fight, fight. We will never give up, and we will continue to arrest and kill jihadis and keep America safe.
Just finally, President Trump told Australian Ambassador Kevin Rudd last week, "I don't like you, and I probably never will." He then said a couple of days later that he doesn't forget when people say bad things about him. And as you know, Kevin Rudd has called him a village idiot. He said he was a traitor to the West and the most destructive president. Seb, do you think Trump will ever forgive Kevin Rudd?
President Trump is one of the most gracious and magnanimous men I have had the honor of knowing and especially working for. I'm not going to comment on what the president did, but I'll tell you something. In my first meeting with your ambassador, I brought up his tweets against the president just to make sure that he understands who we are and that we have very long memories and the internet is forever. And my recommendation, I did this for another ambassador who had said unfortunate things before he became ambassador. You know what? You need to publicly apologize. And you know what he did? That ambassador publicly apologized, and it made a difference. I'll end on this note. We are living in history, every single one of us, everyone in Australia, everyone in Europe, everyone in Asia, Africa, the Americas. We are living in historic times right now, and we have a president who is performing tectonically significant historic acts every single day. The greatest challenge we have in this White House is keeping up with this man, which is absolutely impossible. My message to everyone in government that I make every single day, and to the foreign nations and governments I meet, is if you don't understand who President Trump is and understand the opportunity you have to better your country, to make it safer and to prosper, shame on you. Join us, whoever you are, and we will prosper and we will be safe together if you share our values. That is my message to every ambassador, every prime minister, and every president. Some of them have gotten it already. They were at Sharm el-Sheikh. Others, it may take a little bit longer, but you're living in historic times, and this is a historic president. So pay attention, step up, and join the cool kids.
When did you give Kevin Rudd that advice to publicly apologise? Roughly how long ago did you meet with him?
I didn't give him that advice specifically. I brought up his importune tweets and comments in our first meeting together right at the beginning of the administration. I advised another ambassador to publicly apologize, but you make your bed and you lie in it, right? And
what did Kevin Rudd say when you brought this up?
That would be indiscreet of me to. All I'll say is he smiled a wry smile when he, I'm not a diplomat. I would be an absolutely disastrous ambassador or diplomat. I don't do niceties for nice sake. So when I speak plain speak like President Trump, sometimes diplomats don't know how to react. That's okay. I sent them my message. It's up to them to draw the conclusions or to ignore my advice or the president's advice.
Yeah, all right. Sebastian Gorka, thank you very much for making the time for this, and keep up the fight against terrorists on behalf of the West. Thank you so much.
That's the plan. God bless you and your viewers. Thank you.